I've worked with thousands of business leaders, business owners, and what I've found in all of the clients I've worked with is there is one thing that holds them back from the ability to scale and grow their business. And in this video, I'm going to talk about that because the one thing that holds you back comes from the inside out. And if you understand this, it's a game changer. So I often hear clients talking about what are my talents, what are my skills? And often in the workplace, we're looking for that and we're certainly valued and acknowledged for that. Yet there are three key things that we miss when that's the conversation. The first thing to know is that if you want to fully express yourself, often finding my talents, finding my skills becomes an intellectual conversation. We're just processing it at a thinking level or the pinhead. You're not going to find it there. Fundamentally, every day there are two trains that leave your house. One is the flow train, the other is the resistance train. And when you realize that the way to access and fully express yourself is to simply reflect, where am I in the flow? Because the flow and resistance come from your frequency and vibration. If you wake up, kick your toe on the end of the bed, go into negativity, get cranky with the dog, get cranky with the kids, arrive at work, you're just resisting life. And then you go and think about your superpowers and your talents. It doesn't matter. You could be the best strategic mind in the world. You could be the most incredible communicator in the world. Yet if you're coming from resistance, if you're coming from that place of not enough, it's not going to land. The simple way is to go, where am I in flow? And that's the third key. Because everything is frequency and vibration. Everything is energy. The simple thing to know is that you will be in flow when you're in joy, when you're in passion. Remember, the key is not to do what brings you joy. It's to bring joy to what you do. And I see this all the time. Everybody's looking for, what do I want to do to bring me joy, to bring me passion? And they're missing the opportunity to bring joy to their children, bring joy to their beloved, bring joy to their business, and also to bring passion. Because the 80-20 rule in business, and there are many applications, yet fundamentally the 80-20 rule is, as a leader, as a business owner, the key is to spend 80% of your time where you add the most value and 20% of your time doing the other stuff. When I work with business owners and leaders, I often find it's the other way around. 80% of their time they're in the weeds, they're doing the stuff, they're stuck, they're pushing, they're resisting, and occasionally they get to fully express themselves. And you know when you sit still and reflect where you add the most value to your business, to your team, and to your family, you'll realize that when I'm adding the most value, I'm in flow. And if I can bring joy to that and really lean into that, then whatever you're looking for externally, wealth, relationship, building your business, making an impact, it will flow and follow. The key is the frequency and vibration that you bring. The key is to know that when I'm in flow and bringing joy and passion, then I will create. So remember, business, your business, is not a reflection of your strategy. It's a reflection of your state of being. And let me explain how this may show up. Working with a lot of business owners, particularly, small to medium-sized business, the founder often starts the business, has a lot of input into the business, knows how they like things done. They start to build their team. They're very focused on customer satisfaction. And what happens is the paradigm shift that's occurring globally is the old way to do that was from the hustle. To get there, you had to hustle. You had to manipulate a little bit. You had to put that energy in. And the paradigm shift in business is moving from the hustle to the flow. So if you've hustled to get there, typically what happens is that there's some push energy and your nervous system and your state of being often is coming from that level of anxiety. There's a background fear around the money, around making sure it's all done okay. And that anxiety really challenges business owners to let go. Because when you're coming from anxiety and a level of scarcity, what happens is your view of the world becomes very narrow. Yeah, the messages you're sending your nervous system is literally, there's uncertainty out there, I've got to control it. And when it comes to uncertainty, we want to narrow our view and we want to try and control the external world. And it's very difficult to let go. Think about it. Think about in your business, anywhere else in your life, where you ask someone else to do it and they do it differently. And you get anxious and then you step in and micromanage. It's a killer for your business. Your business cannot expand unless you're willing to let go. And to let go, you have to feel safe. And to feel safe, you have to regulate your nervous system through embodied presence, through these practices I teach. And so if you're serious about scaling a business, if you're serious about growing a business without burning out, without getting sick, without losing your relationships, you've got to learn how to let go from a different place. Instead of that fear of controlling and micromanaging and doing everything in the business. And that is what I teach. So we cover this in depth in the Freedom Circle. And if you'd like to know more about the True Freedom Plan, please click on the link below and the information will be made available for you.